our week 2
A
preview,
new section,
a
Joel.
new section, and we're going to be reviewing our predictions that we made at the
Mm.
start of the tournament. Chris, I know you're excited because you did very well with your ladies' predictions.
Yes, I did.
But because I'm the host and I'm the founder of the Tennis Week podcast, we're going to start with the men's predictions
Okay, why is that?
because shockingly,
Mm.
I have done quite well here.
Really well.
Bar Alcaraz and Djokovic. I think most of my players are still in the running.
We can forgive you that one, I think.
Yes, but we do have our round of 4 men's matchup set. I'm just gonna rattle them off now. Sinner, Hall, Borges, Medvedev, Draper, Machak, Dumanor, Thompson, and then Casper Ruud, Taylor Fritz, Nakashima, Zverev, Rublev, Dimitrov, Tiafoe, Popyrin. What do you make of that?
It's a pretty good lineup, isn't it? I think what's so great about the lineup
For a 250?
yeah, for a 250. No, what's so great about the lineup is that there are
A
these other
500, actually, if I'm being a bit harsh there.
yeah, exactly. If this is the first thing you're hearing and we're calling this a 250, I'm not sure that would be well, I'm not sure that Italian or American audiences would be thrilled by that, but it is great having these stories developing. So it's a great opportunity, especially in the bottom half of the draw. I think
Mm.
now the story we'll be looking at will be, will Sinner get a second slam? I think it will be, will Medvedev get a second slam? Will Zverev break his duck?
Ooh,
It's very,
Zverev. We
very
haven't spoken
interesting.
really much about Zverev, and he does feel like the potentially the one player who could capitalize from that bottom half. Or will we get a first-time Grand Slam finalist?
Yes, or will Rublev finally make it to a semi-final? Another
Oh,
question that we have. But in terms of some of these ties, I think that, I mean, Sinner, we talked about how hard his draw is when you get to
mm,
this stage. A lot of people have bookmarked Tommy Paul prior to the tournament starting as potentially taking him out in this round. They've both made it there in slightly different levels of convincing style.
yeah.
Paul came through in 4 sets. This match, I'm going to put you on the spot for some of these now. We'll go through them. Sinner and Tommy Paul, is this going to be as tight as people think? Could there be an American upset here?
No, I
No.
just don't think so. Like, if Tommy Paul is struggling to get the job done and not go to 5 sets against Diallo of Canada, sorry,
Mm,
I have to go with Sinner here.
I think there's a very good logic there. I agree. I think Sinner's getting better and better as the tournament goes on. And I think that the time when we'll really see him tested will be the Medvedev match. Obviously,
Mm.
he lost to Medvedev at Wimbledon in the same round. And I think that that's where the tension and the pressure will get a lot higher because he needs to make it past a quarterfinal, I think, at this point, and another Grand Slam final. Um, we keep rattling down. We have Nuno versus Medvedev. I think that's going to be. I mean, they've played before. It's been pretty close before.
Okay.
Are you
I'm
thinking this could be a tight one?
no. Medvedev. You?
Okay. I think just because Nuno Borges has been down quite often, part of me thinks that sometimes you just play with a completely new, I don't know, a renewed freedom. So I think this
Mm.
will be closer than we think, but I do
Okay.
think that Medvedev will get it done.
Right. Draper Matchak. I'm going to you for this one.
I really want to say Draper, but I do think that Machak is a very tricky customer. I think if it was someone who get played with a more consistent ball, it might be better for Draper. I think Diminar, if he does make it there, I think Draper could have a very good matchup against him. But again, I don't like to tempt fate, so I think maybe Machak in four potentially.
Well, Matchak does have I believe he's 3-0 in the head to head across I think Challenger and also tour events. So if you look at that, yeah, maybe Matchak goes in. But I mean they're both fresh, both haven't dropped a set. I think Draper's playing the better tennis. So I'm gonna go Draper. Um
Backing the Brit.
yes. Okay. Right. All Aussie matchup.
Mm.
Dumanor Thompson.
Oh, it's tough. I think you have to go for Alex on this one just because of the form he's had previously.
Yeah.
But it's tough beating a countryman, especially when you're the number one.
Mm.
So I think it will be maybe 4 sets. I think it will be entertaining, but I do think that the Aussie number one will come through.
Yeah, ADM for me. Rude Fritz. This
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 is
this
probably
is
the
interesting. Yeah,
it is. I don't think Rude has actually beaten Fritz.
possibly tie of the match of the round. I think.
I think it's the one that I would choose to watch if I could,
Mm.
definitely. If I could be there live, I think it would be fantastic. Casper came back from 2 sets down to, I mean, walk the last 3 sets
Yeah,
basically.
a weird, odd
Very
scoreline.
strange.
Yeah.
So, but Fritz, I mean, the way he dismantled Berrettini, I think right now he's looking like probably the big quarterfinal clashes could be Fritz, Zverev, and Sinner Medvedev, with a winner potentially coming from those clashes if they make it there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Casper Ruud. I think
You
he might
have
pull a
Fritz picked for
surprise.
everything.
Do
Okay.
I? Okay. Oh, I do actually. Whoops. Maybe I have to go with Fritz. Right. Nakashima Zverev. Is this just
I'd
going to be
love
a
an
walk
upset,
in?
but
It's going to be a walk in the park for Zverev.
I think Zverev's going to come through pretty
Yeah.
comfortably.
Yeah.
I think Rublev Dimitrov, I mean, that's going to be who doesn't bottle it, right? I think I
Dimitrov's not dropped a set going into round four, I believe.
well, I would love it if he could play some more flawless tennis. I think Rublev probably hasn't played the tennis coming into this that would warrant a deep run here.
Yeah.
But again, a big opportunity because the winner would play against Francis Tiafoe and Alexei Popyrin. So will Popyrin back it up? I think it's going to be.
You've got to think. You got to think if you're Andrey Rublev and you're looking at this is a golden opportunity to break my quarterfinal
Seeded for the
quarterfinals
semis now.
streak that I do not want. Yes.
Yes, that's not a title you want, and neither does Jessica Pegula. But I mean, Tiafoe.
Tiafoe Popyrin, both coming off big wins. You spoke about earlier about how hard it is to back up big wins as well. Do we think that's gonna be the thing that affects Popyrin, or do you think he's gonna ride that wave of momentum?
I think it could happen both ways. That first set's going to be so important. I think Tiafoe needs to feel like he's in the match. He needs the crowd to be involved. He is pumped up for it. But if Popyrin can shut down Tiafoe quite quickly and maybe win the first 2 sets, I think the momentum would then sort of set Tiafoe spiraling a little bit. So in my mind, Popyrin's going to come through this one just because I think it's different when you're playing in a very heightened sense against your countrymen. I think the reality check might be in this one, unfortunately. But I mean, who do we think is going to win it based on we've watched a week's worth of play? Oh, we have to change our predictions. We all say Djokovic.
We do. I'm going to have to switch it to. Do you know? There's a part of me. I know I've been singing the praises of Jannik Sinner, but I do wonder if Zverev is gonna right the wrongs from that
terrible US Open final.
Against Dominic Thiem.
I mean, that would be a very strange way that Zverev is winning slams at this point and Thiem is going out in round one on a wild card. I mean, it's who would have thought?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Zverev at the moment, but as I say, I think Sinner and Medvedev, that all eyes are on them.
I'm looking at Medvedev and probably Taylor Fritz potentially. I think it could be a case that he's playing so well, but if I had to say, I'd say Medvedev. So Kim had Medvedev for the final, so we will assume that Kim would go for Medvedev at this point.
Yeah,
but we'll have to see. On the women's side, we're moving on as quickly as we can now because this is one where things have gone a lot better for me. Obviously Collins was a bit of a disappointment for us, but I could be on for Wozniacki Paolini, which is not
very
necessarily
nice.
What we thought. Vekic Sabalenka still very much on. Badosa's had a good run here. So I think there's some interesting clashes and we can run through all of them now quickly to give you the overview. At the top half of the draw, it's Swiatek, Samsonova. We have Schneider versus Pegula. I mean, that's going to be a very entertaining one. We have Wozniacki with a very much opened up draw. Rybakina would have been the opponent she would have played in the last round. She's playing Haddad Maia at this stage. Then we have Mukova versus Paolini, Badosa versus Wong. We then have Navarro Gauff, a repeat,
that Wimbledon match,
And then we have Zheng, Vekic, and then we have Mertens and Sabalenka, 2 former doubles partners.
That's a great lineup. That's a great lineup.
If we're talking 500 for the men, we're talking 1,000 end of season finals level.
Yeah.
Zoo high.
If end of season finals was 60 players,
exactly.
The WTA, elite trophy.
And the elite trophy is what I was thinking. Exactly. Yeah. And they can all play doubles because they're just there anyway. But in terms of the matches that we've just mentioned, Iga, Samsonova, they've had a close match, I think, previously, but it's been pretty one-sided ever since.
Yeah, I still go Swiatek there.
I agree. I think that's going to be pretty straightforward. But
Yep.
I mean,
The next match, though, I don't think is
yeah, I
straightforward.
mean, she's a real,
Tough cookie.
yeah, she is, and she's
She
gonna,
won't care for the American audience supporting JPEG. I don't think either.
she won't.
I think Schneider might get the upset here.
I also think so. I think the things that she's able to do that just completely rewrite
Yep.
the rule book. She's
Yep.
Ostapenko like in that way in
Hmm.
terms of how
Hmm.
she can play. And Pegula's played some very, very solid tennis, but we do always worry, does she have that X factor, that extra level that she can go to against inspired opponents on their day? I'd love it if Pegula made a deep run here, but then I also think that, you want someone in America at the US Open who really goes for it. That's what the audiences love. So I'd love to see a close match there. Wozniacki had admire. I mean, this is going to be a long one, surely.
Yes, I, you know, I
I'm
love the
backing was
Wozniacki. I love the Wozniacki run that she's gone on. Who has she faced? I don't think a lot
nobody.
of
Yeah.
nobody. So I'm going had admire. I'm going to go had admire here.
Okay. I think it. Oof, either was will come through pretty comfortably, or it'll be a final set tiebreak and heartbreak
Yeah.
for Wozniacki.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
match of
Mukova.
the tournament right here. Mukova
Mukova.
Paulini.
Paulini. Yes. Tasty.
I think Mukova's going to come. I think the variety.
Mm.
She's playing so well. Inspired some of the shots she's
I
making.
honestly think Mukova's like the most underrated player in tennis. She's like never
Skill
seeded.
level, it's like,
She
yeah.
never like she just plays because of unfortunately because of I feel like because of injury. She just plays very few and far between. But when she does play,
It's
she's
incredible, yeah.
yeah, forced to be reckoned with. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mukova.
And then we have Badosa playing against Wong, who's a bit surprising that she's made it to
Mm.
this stage. Great draw for Paula.
Yeah, I mean, just about came through against Rusa in
Very
the
edgy.
yeah in the last match. Yeah, I'll go. I'll stick with Badosa. I think.
I'm gonna do the same. And then we have a very big match, another day session, surprisingly, of Navarro and Gauff. So will we see the same sort of result as Wimbledon? That was very comfortable for
Yeah.
Navarro. Is this
Oh,
Coco's home court though?
oh, this is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna go Coco Gauff. Gauff to get some revenge on Navarro. I think.
I I also think that Goff is going to come through. She's finding a way in New York to win ugly
Yep.
and get it
Yep.
done. And Navarro hasn't really announced herself on the US stage quite yet. It's a very different prospect winning the US Open. Then we have a Grand Slam, not Grand Slam, an Olympic final repeat, which is very unfortunate. The ranking points don't count. Otherwise, this would never be happening.
Mm.
The surface, I think, favors Vekic a little bit more.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I'm gonna go. I I'm gonna go Qinwen Zheng. I think Qinwen Zheng's playing some great tennis at the moment.
Ooh, I'm
I
thinking
mean, but to be
Vekic.
fair, they both are. This could be one of the matches of the round, I think. But I'm gonna go Zheng.
And then Merton Sabalenka, I'm going Sabalenka. Are you as well?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be Sabalenka against Mertens. Mertens, she's done her job. It's got to the. Well, actually, she's done better than her job of getting to the round three. She's round four. But
Very
yeah,
good.
got to get
Winners.
got to go Sabalenka. I
Now I have
think.
to ask, is she going to win it? You had her to win at the start of the
I
tournament.
am sticking. I'm sticking with Sabalenka. Yeah.
I had Swiatek to win it. This is so open. I do
Mm.
think that it's going to be a Sabalenka Swiatek final still. So
Okay.
I'm going to stick with my guns. I think there could be some great results here. I think, again, as we say, this is a very, very good lineup going
Yeah.
into
It's very
week two.
balanced as well. I think. I don't think there's a half you would necessarily favor over the other. I think it's very equal across the board.
Yeah, I think it is pretty equal. And if I think that if anything, the bottom section is a little bit stacked with like Coco
Mm.
Gauff being in there,
Yeah. True.
Qinwen Zheng, we've got
True.
Sabalenka, Vekic, players who could all be seeded, to be honest, for the quarterfinals at the next slam that we see.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Week 2 coming up in New York City, US Open. We're not on the final stretch just yet, but yeah, we've got a lot of tantalizing matchups to look forward to.